Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've seen a lot of rumors, a lot of trades that seemed impossible until they weren't, but I can tell you this right now, what's happening behind the scenes at Cleveland as we speak is nothing short of unprecedented. The NFL is buzzing, insiders are losing sleep, and I've got sources who swear that something massive is on the horizon, something that could reshape this entire offseason, and maybe even the future of the Cleveland Browns. You want the truth? Most of what you've heard so far is just scratching the surface. Right now, there's a clandestine movement, a secret negotiation that could send shockwaves through the league. Something so explosive, so unpredictable, that even the most seasoned scouts and front office insiders are struggling to keep up. I've been in this game long enough to recognize the signs. This isn't just a late rumor spark, this is a strategic, calculated play that could be the linchpin for Cleveland's future. And I guarantee, what I'm about to reveal may shock you, because it's bigger than any trade here in January 2026. But I'm not going to give it all away just yet. Hold on tight, because what you're about to hear may change everything you thought you knew about NFL trades and the future of the Browns. But first, you better listen closely if you want the full story, the real inside scoop. You need to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on the notifications. Because what I'm about to lay out isn't just speculation, it's insider info, hot off the league's best-kept secrets. For those who want to be in the know, for the true football aficionados, this is your chance to see behind the curtain and understand what's really coming. You think this is just another rumor? Think again. This is a chess move by Cleveland's front office that could redefine their entire future, and if you're not paying attention, you'll be left in the dust. So, stay with me. We're about to dive deep into the hidden world of NFL trades, the unsung hero who could be the Browns' game changer, and what it all means for the AFC North, the NFL playoffs, and the league's power balance. Now, let's peel back the layers. First, what's really happening with Cleveland right now? You see, since Kevin Stefanski's departure on January 5 after a painfully disappointing 5-12 season, the Browns have been a whirlwind of rumors, strategic moves, and high-stakes negotiations. They're not aiming for mediocrity this time. No, their new head coach Todd Monken, fresh from his acclaimed tenure as Ravens offensive coordinator, is a chess master silently reshaping the team from the inside out. The front office, led by GM Andrew Berry, isn't just making surface-level moves, they're setting up a seismic shift at linebacker that could have ripple effects across the league. And one name that keeps coming up in the shadows, one player you've probably never associated with a blockbuster, is KJ Britt. Yeah, KJ Britt, a guy who's flown under everyone's radar, but insiders tell me he's about to become Cleveland's biggest secret weapon. Why? Because Britt's game tape, his recent trajectory, and even his contract whispers point to one thing: the Browns are quietly plotting to acquire him, and it's going to make waves. But let's step back for a second. Why would Cleveland, a team desperate for a rebuild on defense, target KJ Britt, who's currently with Miami, after a promising stint with Tampa Bay? Well, the answer lies in the glaring weaknesses of this roster, the strategic needs, and the hidden gems that scouts have been whispering about for months. Cleveland's defense, under Jim Schwartz, has shown flashes of brilliance but remains inconsistent against the run and vulnerable against tight ends and versatile backs. If you've studied their film, especially the last two seasons, you'll notice that they truly struggle to fill gaps, shed blocks, and make plays against the run. That's where Britt's film shines. A run-stopping machine, a true gap filler with elite tackling, his 81 tackle rating in Madden NFL 26 is no joke. It's reflective of his real-life ability to diagnose plays quickly, shed blockers with force, and pursue tackles with relentless energy. His strengths are undeniable: elite tackling, great instincts, and a physical presence that could immediately upgrade Cleveland's linebacker core. And yet, here's the twist: many insiders dismissed Britt after his stint in Tampa Bay as just a rotational player. But that's the trap of the NFL narrative, isn't it? Because the truth is, Britt's recent stats tell a different story. In 2024, he racked up 72 tackles, 40 solos, with a half sack and a pass defensed, solid numbers for a fifth-round pick fighting for every snap. But what really caught the league's attention was his recovery and rise after injury. Remember, in 2024, he missed some games with an ankle sprain, but he came back stronger. His film? It's a masterclass in gap discipline, relentless pursuit, and physicality. When you watch close-up clips, especially his ability to shed blocks and immediately pursue to the ball carrier, you see a player who has the raw tools to be a top-tier LB. And in Madden NFL 26, they factored that in, giving him an 81 tackling rating, something you can't ignore. Scouts who study the tape see a guy who can do more, who can develop into that versatile, dependable linebacker that Cleveland desperately needs. Now, how do we get from this tape to a trade? That's where the mechanics get interesting. Cleveland's front office is historically aggressive. Remember the David Njoku trade, the move for Zadarius Smith? They're not shy about making bold decisions. Right now, sources tell me Cleveland's management has been quietly in contact with Miami, exploring the possibility of acquiring Britt either via trade or some kind of mid-level package. And here's the kicker, Cleveland has the assets. They have multiple draft picks, potentially a second or third rounder this year, plus some future considerations, plus a few veteran players or salary cap flexibility to make the numbers work. The cap? It's a puzzle, but Barry has shown he's a master at maneuvering space when needed. Plus, Britt's current contract, roughly a $680,000 annual base salary, is a cost-effective investment that would enable Cleveland to bolster their linebacker depth without breaking the bank. What might the compensation look like? Well, I've heard whispers that Miami might be looking for a mid-round pick, perhaps a third or fourth rounder, plus a young player or an additional late-round pick as sweetener. Why? Because Britt, despite his under-the-radar status, is rapidly rising in value. With the current market heat on linebackers, and the Browns desperately needing to upgrade their run defense, this isn't just a speculative rumor, it's a calculated move. Cleveland's brass sees Britt as a potential cornerstone for their run-stopping unit, especially under Schwartz's aggressive scheme, which emphasizes versatile linebackers who can shed blocks and make plays in tight spaces. The trade, in essence, would be Cleveland's way of stealing a hidden gem from Miami's roster, someone who's ready to pay dividends immediately. And here's what's most intriguing, how does Britt fit into Cleveland's future? Scheme-wise, he's a perfect match. Monken's offensive overhaul might steal the headlines, but defensive integrity wins championships. Britt's ability to plug gaps, pursue the ball, and avoid being outrun in the open field aligns perfectly with Schwartz's aggressive, gap-focused defense. Compare him to players like Leighton Vander Esch or even an up-and-coming Jaquan Brisker, guys who excel in run support and can be the glue in a young, hungry Browns defense. And don't forget, with Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, and a potential rookie linebacker drafted early, adding Britt would give Cleveland a core of versatile, physical defenders that could shape the AFC North for years. But let me be clear, this isn't just about filling a need. It's about making a statement. Cleveland is tired of being mediocre. They want to show that their rebuild is real, that their defense can be top 5 in the league. Britt, with his elite tackling and relentless motor, is the perfect piece to jumpstart that revolution. It's a move that would send shockwaves through the league, and I believe, quietly, Cleveland might be willing to pay the price to get it done. So, what's the final verdict? As a scout and analyst who's seen it all, I'd say this: Cleveland's front office is on the brink of pulling off one of the most under-the-radar but impactful trades of the offseason. KJ Britt is not just a depth piece, he's the missing link. The player capable of transforming Cleveland's run defense, energizing the entire locker room, and quietly becoming one of the league's best at his role. The question remains, will they act before the league figures it out? Or will Britt slip away into the shadows of another team, waiting for the right moment to explode? One thing's for certain, this story is far from over. But I promise you, what's coming next might redefine the Browns' future and set the tone for the 2026 NFL season. Stay tuned, because I'll be watching every move, every whisper, every deal, because this is just the beginning. Because when history writes the next chapter on Cleveland's defense, it might very well be starring KJ Britt. And trust me, you won't want to miss how it all unfolds.